Hi second graders, Miss Diorio here from Citizenship Academy, and we are on to Module 7, Lesson 19 today. What we're going to be doing today is measuring different objects using feet, inches, yards like we've been doing, but then comparing the lengths. And we're going to talk about how to do that. Let's start off with some fluency practice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say a fact. You're going to tell me the answer. Then you're going to add 10 to the whole, and we're going to keep going. So, for example, I'm going to start with 11 minus 9. You would say 2. Good. Now we're adding 10 to the whole, which also, in turn, is going to add 10 to our answer. So then we're adding 10 to the whole, we get 21 minus 9. So our answer is going to be 12. Good. Adding from there. All right, let's try it. So 11 minus 9, we get 2. Awesome. Add 10 to our whole, 21 minus 9. If we add 10 to the whole, with our compensation strategy, whatever we do to one, we do to the other, and we get 12. Awesome. Adding another 10. Remember, we had 12 before, so now we have 22. Good. Nope. Adding another 10 to our whole, so we're going to add another 10 to our answer, which is going to be 32. Nice job. Same idea. Don't get tricked with the bigger numbers. Adding another 10. So we're adding another 10 to our last answer, which gives us 42. Nice. Adding another 10 gives us 52. Great work. Adding another 10, 62. Good, you're getting it. Adding another 10, 72. Great job. All right, this one's a little bit different. We're switching gears. This is our first problem. So what's 12 minus 8? 4. Nice job. Now we're going to add 10 to the whole, and we're going to do 22 minus 8. Add 10 to the whole, add 10 to our part, compensation strategy, make sure we're doing what we're doing to one, we're doing together. So our answer is going to be 14. Good. Add another 10. 24. Good job. Add another 10. 34. 44. 54. Good. All right, different type of problem. This is our first one. 11 minus 8. 3. Very good. Add a 10. 13. Good. Add a 10. 23. Add a 10. 33. Add a 10. 43. Very good. Only our 10's place is changing. Our 1's are staying the same because we're still subtracting the same amount. We're just adding 10. Then we get 53. Good. All right. Let's move into some measurement. If I want to cover my desk in paper, so if you have a desk at home, imagine your desk at home. If you don't have a desk at home, just picture a desk like that we would have at school. If I wanted to cover it in paper, what do I need to do to see if the paper is the right size? What I want you to do is turn and talk to someone at home, or turn and talk to me. Pause the video and think about this question. Talk about this question. If I want to cover my desk in paper, what do I need to do to see if the paper is the right size? Good. So we have to measure the desktop and we have to measure the paper. We have to know the sizes of both to make sure that the desk can be completely covered in paper. We can also put the paper on the desk to make sure that the paper is longer than the desk. We need the paper to be longer than the desk, otherwise it's not going to cover it completely. What measurement tool do you think we should use to measure the paper and the desk? Should we use centimeters? Should we use inches? Should we use a ruler? Should we use a yardstick? What are you thinking? Picture a desk. Yeah, so I'm thinking a yardstick because I can see that the paper and the desk are both a little bit bigger than a ruler. We could use a ruler, but it would be a little tricky, especially if we have a yardstick, which is bigger, so we could get bigger measurements. Now, if we use the yardsticks, are we measuring the desk in yards? Would that make sense? Remember how big a yard is? Are we going to measure the desk in yards? No, right? That doesn't make sense. We're going to measure it in inches. Even though we're using that big yardstick, we're still going to measure it in inches because the desk isn't going to be longer than a yard. So I measured my desktop, and my desktop was 24 inches. The paper, 30 inches. Which one is longer? I want you to think about this for a second. Which one is longer? The paper is longer, right? How much longer is the paper? Don't forget your units in your answer. Good, it is 6 inches longer. We're going to be talking about a lot of comparisons today. So we're going to be talking about which one's bigger, which one's shorter, and by how much. So keep that in your brains. All right, here we go. I would like to use a string to hang work along my wall. How can we figure out if I have enough string? We're going to measure the wall and the string, right? Same thing as before. Which tool do you think we should use and why? What would make the most sense for measuring a string against a wall? Yeah, a yardstick again, because this little ruler, again, we could probably use it, but it might take a bunch of rulers. We should use a yardstick because then we can measure a longer distance. What unit should we use? Should we use inches? Should we use feet? Or should we use yards? Remember, an inch is about the size of a quarter that I just dropped on the ground. About the size of a quarter. This is about a foot. And a yard is the length of your arms. What are you thinking? I'm thinking feet too. Walls are pretty big, but they're not big enough for us to use yards. Yards would be really, really big. But feet, we could get a good measurement of how many feet are on our wall. Okay, let's measure both in feet. So we're going to measure both the string and the wall in feet so that we get the same measurement. That way we're not confused like, oh, the string is 12 yards and the wall is 5 feet. We're going to get confused. All right, so the string is 17 feet. The wall is 32 feet. What we're going to do is figure out how much more string we need. We don't have enough string, right? We have less string than wall. We need to figure out how much more string we need. So an easy way to do that is to count on from 17 to get to 32. Because we have 17 feet of string, 32 feet of wall. So let's count on. We're going to get to a nice even number of 20 by counting on 3 more. And then we have to get to 32. If we add 12, that'll get us to 32. So we need, if we add the 3 and the 12, we need 15 more feet. That is telling us the difference between the length of the string and the length of the wall. We're finding out how much longer the length of the string is, the length of the wall is compared to the length of the string. Okay. So what was the difference between the length of the string and the length of the length of the wall? Let me see that one. We're going to do it in yards. Okay. Skipping that one, let's try this one. It says, Katia is hanging decorative lights. A strand of lights is 46 feet long. The building wall is 84 feet long. How many more feet of lights does Katia need to buy? How many more feet of lights does she need to buy to equal the length of the wall? So, we have a strand of lights. Picture a strand of lights that's 46 feet long. The building wall is 84 feet. This is good because we measured both in feet. But we want to cover the whole wall with lights. Do we have more wall or more lights right now? Yeah, we have more wall. So we need to figure out how many more lights we need to get to the total. What I want you to do is pause and try and solve. You can see on my screen here, we have some number bonds. If you want to solve it with number bonds, you're more than welcome to. But if you have a different way of solving, solve it whatever way makes sense to you. I want you to try it though. How many more feet of lights do we need to make the lights equal the wall? So pause and solve. Come back when you're done. Good. So again, what we're doing is finding the difference between the length of the wall and the length of the lights. So a way to find the difference is to subtract. We can do 84 minus 46. When we do that, we can break apart the 46 into our 10s and our 1s. 84 minus 40 is going to give us 44. And then we got to minus that 6 still. We're going to get 38 more feet. So she needs 38 more feet of lights to equal the length of the wall. Give me a thumbs up if you got that. Good. So when we do these problems, you're finding the difference between the two lengths. If it's asking you for how much more, how many more, how much longer, how much shorter, you're finding the difference between the two lengths. To find the difference, you're going to subtract. So for your problem set today, what you're going to be doing is comparing line lengths. How much does one line measure? How much does another line measure? And then tell me the difference. How much longer is one line than the other? Again, finding the difference, you're going to subtract. Don't forget to include your units. If we're measuring in feet, inches, yards, centimeters, whatever we're measuring in, include those units. See you soon.